we've done sort of top 5, top 10 mock drafts, and it goes Caleb Williams number 1, then it goes Drake Maye number 2, but not if you are Mel Kiper Jr., who went with Jayden Daniels, the LSU quarterback, at number 2 to the Washington Commanders, and not Drake Maye.
So, first of all, I love it. We'll get into whether or not I think this is the right decision or not, because we obviously have them flip-flopped here. Jeremiah went with Drake Maye. Kiper went with Jayden Daniels at number 2. But I love that we're talking about Daniels this high, because sometimes we'll go through this process, and I was just talking with Connor Rogers the other day about this. We'll watch a player, we'll watch him throughout his college football season, and sometimes they'll grade really, really well in our system, and I'll say to myself, man, I really like this guy. And then you look at Mel Kiper, Daniel Jeremiah, these guys who are a little bit more plugged into the league, these guys who have a lot of league contacts, have been doing this for a very, very long time. They talk to GMs, they talk to head scouts, they talk to area scouts, like everybody. So that their mock drafts, as Jeremiah says, are done with his ears. This is all about what he is hearing, how high a player is going to go. And so when you take that into account and you still see a player like Jayden Daniels, who I like, who graded really well for us, was an elite rusher and an elite passer, get this kind of respect right off the bat, mock draft 1.0, to me, it makes sort of what we feel, dude, validated what we've talked about over the last couple of months, that the NFL does believe in this guy to this caliber, that it wasn't crazy and overreacting to say that Jayden Daniels was becoming a top 10 overall selection. Now we're seeing him at number 2 and number 3. So that's even more praise than what we thought might be the case for Daniels, who had an incredible year. Now, I would still be going with Drake Maye. Drake Maye, I think, just if you want your quarterback to be more of a staple of your rushing attack, if you really want your ground game to involve the quarterback, sure, Daniels gives you more of that ability. He had over 1,300 rushing yards, a lot of rushing touchdowns, a lot of rushing first downs, a lot of forced missed tackles. He's just a more dynamic runner. But Drake Maye, when he comes to efficiency of running the football, being mobile, still being able to pick up first downs, Maye had just 7 less first downs than Jayden Daniels did this past year. The yardage wasn't even half, but still was efficient there. I think he had 1 less rushing touchdown than Jayden Daniels did. So I think people look at Drake Maye and they say, oh, this is your prototypical in the pocket passer. No. Drake Maye's got some mobility to him. So he still brings that to the table. And then when you factor in, okay, Drake Maye has now had 2 years back-to-back where he has led the country or been near the very top. I can't remember if he absolutely led the country this past year over Michael Penix, who had a couple of extra games, in big-time throws. So that this guy's got the arm, the mentality, the vision, the feel, understanding of defenses to really attack deep down the field. But he also consistently attacks over the middle of the field as well, more than Jayden Daniels does. Daniels is more of a to-the-sideline guy, which is fine. I don't want to take that away from him, but in order to really unlock your arm talent, unlock your potential, unlock those every throw in the field that you'll sometimes hear people say as a cliche, you have to be able to attack over the middle. And Maye did that more consistently than Jayden Daniels did this past year. So all of that to say, I'd still be going with Drake Maye. But I do love that we're even having this conversation, because I think Daniels is a dynamic player who, man, if this continues in the NFL, if what we saw this past year is kind of the baseline of what he is going to be and who he is going to be as a player, this is a franchise-changing type of a player and somebody who could take you to a postseason.